This video is made possible by the following sponsors. Make sure to check out their products as well as the rest of my gear in the description below. Hey guys, generic racing YouTuber here and welcome to Formula 1 2018 for the first time ever on this channel. Now the guys over at Codemasters made a big mistake and gave me a pre-release copy of this game. So thank you guys, appreciate that. That is obviously going to allow me to make some content on F1 2018, both streams and videos, and hopefully help you make the decision whether this is going to be worth your money when it releases on the 24th of August. Now this first video is going to be my first impressions, funnily enough, on how this game handles. This year, coaches have really pushed the idea that this game is a sim, so I'm going to be judging it as one and see how it holds up. As mentioned, this video is going to be purely about how this game drives, so modes like the career and other options in this game, I'll go over those a bit later on when I eventually get round to doing my review, but if you do want to see some career action, make sure to tune in later on tonight where I'm going to be starting my 100% career mode. Shilling over, let's get into the game. As expected, all cars have been updated with their F1 2018 livery and of course halos, but I'll get to those a bit later on. And for this little drive, I'm going to be using McLaren because when things go wrong, I can blame the car. As for location and race settings, we'll be racing at Melbourne today, a track that I always seem to gravitate towards when I'm doing tests like this for some reason. Probably because this game rates it as very easy and I'm a terrible driver. I think we'll go with that. And the AI I'm going to be racing are set to 103%. That might sound like a little bit of an arbitrary number, but the reason why it's 103 is because that's what I used last season for my career mode, so I'm sort of curious how the two compare. Right then, so here we are then on the grid at Melbourne, a very familiar scene, but this time with something a little bit different. We have a halo, but not all of it. Given that there's no VR in this game, and there are people like me who exist in the world who have gloves when they drive their fake racing car and use the cockpit view, Codemasters was sort of forced to do something about the halo for visibility. Usually there is an opaque centre pillar that comes down the middle, but Cody's have given us the option to turn that off, and I'm going to be leaving it off for one because it makes seeing stuff in the distance quite a lot easier and I just prefer it. And just before we get started, I want to mention that I'm not using any assist, no traction control, no ABS, going to be as authentic as possible, be in line with the sim status this game is claiming. So here we are in F1 2018, our first race on camera. Let's get those rev to the optimum. There they are. Oh, green very quickly. Caught me napping a little bit, not a great start. ERS to overtake mode to try and come back a little bit. Hulkenberg on the inside. Looks like a false injury on the outside. Very slow through T1 as AI trips over each other. Right at them very slow. I get a clout from the left. That's Ocon forcing his way through. We're down to P10 now. I've got Rich and overtake mode set, so the car is as fast as possible in a straight line to try and defend from the cars around me. Just about in front of Leclerc, who's had a great start up to 11th, so we're just about in the points, but that was a hectic start. And pretty much that's what you can expect from F1 2018 right off the bat. The AI in this game are a lot more aggressive than they were in F1 2017. You could sort of manipulate the AI in F1 2017 to do what you want by positioning your car in a certain way. Not so in this. They will, if there is a gap, they will go for it. There are a field of Sennas now here, which is maybe a good and bad thing, but we'll try not to focus on that as Leclerc goes to the outside in his Sauber. Oh, sorry, Bollard. As you can probably guess, my corner cutting is on the regular because I always found strict to be a little bit too strict. First lap, we've lost one position on the brakes. Down off the back straight, this right-hander used the Astro on the left a little bit. Down to 5th for this very annoying right-hander that I never really get quite right. Very eventful first lap there. I've got a lot to talk about and not long to do it, so let's start, shall we? First of all, is this driving better than F1 2017? Yes, it is, definitely. My biggest gripe from F1 2017, if you were a viewer of my streams, if not, I'll explain it anyway, is that the cars had a very interesting fault with lateral grip, a car sliding like this in very odd ways in corners, especially when you're pushing hard. It's not really a thing these cars do in real life because of downforce and big chunky tyres, and it made driving these things quickly into the limit very frustrating. The effect also bled into slow speed corners as well, and it made the cars slidey messes where these things don't really do that at all in real life. And I'm glad to say that does not exist in this game, pretty much from what I can tell so far from my testing anyway. We're looking a lot better on that front, and handling all around is just a bit better. The cars, when overcooking a corner, you tend to understeer and lock a wheel. And when you lock a wheel, it isn't game over, as it was in F1 2017. You lock a wheel in F1 2017, you're sort of doomed to miss the corner by a long shot. You can semi-save it in this game by being a bit more kind to the brake pedal, which is something that I'm very happy about because I make mistakes all the time. As you can probably tell from my driving so far, I'm not 100% settled with the game yet. Still learning its quirks and features. Last corner, see, soften the throttle, then off we go. Our corner in front. Secondly, of course, you can see we've got ERS now to manage, as well as our fuel mix. You can hear the forced feedback down the straight. Oh, I'm a little bit naughty on that T1 there. I need to get that right. Do we have DRS now? No, but DRS will be next lap, won't it? So ERS, you can see that on the screen on the wheel. Sorry, my words mixed up. It's a bit late as I'm recording right now, so my brain isn't firing in all cylinders. But you can see the ERS percentage on the wheel. And you have to really keep an eye on that, otherwise you get caught napping. You really get caught off. So I'm going down to medium now because I'm starting to get down to the 30s. And I want to have something to defend or attack with when I get to that state. I'm in a Force India sandwich right now, so not really what my goal is for this video. Nice out of there. In general, the feedback in the wheel feels a little bit nicer as well. So I need to adjust it. I'm using an OSW, which is a direct drive wheel, so I get a lot of force through the wheel. I feel a lot of little details. One of the details that I can feel that I really like is when you're going very fast down the straight and it's bumpy, you can feel the car, as well as hear it, bottom out. You can feel that in the wheel. You can also feel the car becoming a little bit nervous because of it, which I think is fantastic. I really love that detail, and it's something that I'm going to talk about a lot, most likely in streams. There you go, nice. Let's get the engine to Rick. We've got the fuel to burn. We've got a little bit of a gap to Perez behind, who does have DRS. So that Merc engine, of course, is pretty decent, especially over this Renault engine. Well, I didn't cut it this time, at least. Going to put my ERS deploy to high. Oh, I'm really struggling with my ERS right now. I'm going to go down to low for this little middle sector. Try and gain some back. I'm already sweating, which goes to show just the amount of effort that this wheel is giving me right now in this game. And I'm very much impressed with how this thing handles over F1 2017. I was very afraid a lot of the things wouldn't be addressed in terms of handling, but we've got those things and a little bit more on top, it seems. Car feels like it's fairly planted, but also at the same time, if you're being a bit cheeky on throttle, you will feel the car get loose, as you would imagine it would, and it will bite you. So here comes Perez. He's going to take a chunk out of me. He goes to the outside. Oh, I'm sort of forced to take a very shallow line there to make the corner. AI in this game, I think, I did say they are more aggressive. They are a touch on the aggressive side, too aggressive, if you ask me. There have been a couple of times when the cars have just pretty much driven into me. I hope that's an easy fix on Codemaster's end, but it's a blessing and a curse. I'm hoping that we can find a nice middle ground there, because I like the AI to be a bit more dangerous. Dangerous isn't the word, just a bit more imposing. Before they're a bit of a pushover. Right, here we go then. Last lap. ERS has not been managed very well. Going to be forced to use a bit low around here, so we're going to go rich mix, high as well, down the straight. I can hear Perez, and he's been joined by Renault as well. Oh man, something I haven't mentioned that I should talk about very quickly before we get to the end of this race is mirrors. That's something that I'm disappointed with personally, is that there is no virtual mirror option that I can find anyway for the cockpit view. Virtual mirror is like a fake mirror that's at the top of your screen, a little rear view mirror, so you can see what's going on behind. So I am forced to rely on these cockpit mirrors, and these cockpit mirrors are not visible from every car in this FOV and this view. Sometimes you have to have really strange FOVs, but pretty much sitting on the rear wing to see these mirrors, which is something that I really hope is addressed soon. Of course, that might just be me being silly. Wow, the Force India had a look to the inside, and I was sure that he was going to hit me, but we're good. Coming on to our last lap, can we defend P10, get 1 point for Macca, for the Orange boys? Onto the curb. I'm really bad at managing ERS. Hopefully I get better at that as the time goes on with this game. But there we are, coming around the last corner. And there you are, just about in P10. Oh no, low fuel mode. No. Oh, P11 on the line. Absolutely cucked by low fuel mode. God damn it. I was running it pretty close, wasn't I? Jesus. Well, there you go. That was our first race in F1 2018. Pretty much went how I expected it to, including the last-minute bottle, which I'm pretty much famous for now when it comes to this game. For me, there is definitely a marked improvement for the handling in F1 2018, especially over its last title. I found that in F1 2017 there are quite a few little things that didn't quite make sense. I've not come across any of that yet in F1 2018, and I really hope it stays that way. As I hurriedly mentioned during the race, the one thing I would possibly tweak a little bit is the aggression of the AI. Don't get me wrong, I think it's great that you're seeing these AI drivers just feckin' sending it up the inside Danny Rick style every now and then, but sometimes I feel like when coming into a corner that you have to avoid the AI, which is something that I really don't want to be doing, especially in longer races. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching my first impressions of F1 2018, and of course a big thank you as well to Cody's for sending me this pre-release copy. If you enjoyed the video or found it informative at all, then please hit the like button, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe hit subscribe and the bell notification icon. That way you'll be notified of whenever I go live with streams. There'll be plenty of F1 2018 streams coming up, I can assure you, or whenever I put up a new video you'll get a notification so you don't miss anything. And guys, let me know if there's some sort of car track combination you want to see in F1 2018, and I'll do my best to get it out for you before the release day. As always, a massive shout out to my patrons and sponsors. You guys are the real MVPs. Take care, have an awesome day. See you all next time.